Hey Beachbody Champions, I am Megan Robison. I am a 4-time elite coach and I am super excited to be kicking off Team Cup Month and doing this training with you today. So corporate has asked me to come in and talk to you about stepping outside of your comfort zone, which I will tell you is an imperative part of Team Cup Month and also an imperative part of growing your business. I will tell you, I have been in 2014, my team, when I was a diamond coach, I led my team to be number 4 in the entire network. Our Team Cup, we were number 4 out of over 55,000 teams. And last year, my team, we finished the Mom Boss Squad. We were the top in the Northeast. So I'm super excited to share with you about stepping out of your comfort zone. And this is going to I'm going to teach you something I've learned from my mentor that I actually wish I had learned this years ago when I started my business, because it's going to be something you can actually apply to help you. So, and there will be call to actions at the end of this video as well. So I'm going to get to the good stuff now. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be very honest and straightforward with you, but it comes from a place of love. For those of you who think of tough love, you can do all the training. You can be the PS coach of the superstar coach in this company, the upcoming star, whatever it may be. You can know all the training, the ins and outs of every system there is. But I will tell you, there's one thing that can keep you from having success in our business, and that is the fear. It's a little itty-bitty 4-letter word, but it can literally destroy all your intentions and all your dreams. All the BS stories that you make up in your head, fear is at the root of all of them. And I will get into how to change those stories in a little bit here. But the bad news is that we all have fear. And it isn't something that we can manipulate and make go away. I want to share you a story with you because about me. I'm an only parent to a 5-year-old little girl. And I'll tell you, I'm the only mom to her or the only parent to her. Of course, I'm the only mom, but I'll tell you, she started dancing when she was around 2. And I said, Della, do you want to go to dance class? And she said, yes, Mommy, I want to go. So she started going to dance. And one of the things I just love watching about her is when she goes up on the dance on stage, and she just goes up there with her friends, and they literally are so carefree. They go up there. They don't care about what's going on. They have she could have lipstick up her face. Her costume could be half her costume could be like hanging off. It doesn't matter. They're so innocent. They're so carefree. I look up there and I just look, oh my gosh, it's the way God intended them to be. They are literally strutting. They are working that stage. They are owning that stage. And it's just so magical to see that, because you sit there and I think about, actually she's 5 now and she's starting to get into the competitive circuit because she got invited to be part of a dance company now. And what is at this age, where she is, no one tells them they aren't enough. There's no track record of disappointments. There's no failures. There's no one saying you're not the right size. You're overweight. You're too skinny. You're not good enough, right? And so it's just crazy, because I know starting these competitions here in just a couple months that she is going to start getting ranked, having judges. There's going to be winners. There's going to be losers. Luckily, she's still in that phase where she's just really carefree and doesn't care. But the mom and me, I just get worried, because I think, that what happens when that voice is born in her head, that the little voice of self-doubt that so many of us as parents have today. And you know what I'm talking about, this voice that we have, and it's been planted in us since we started getting, the failures in life, the disappointments. Life happens. This all happens to us, okay? This isn't something that just happens to certain people. And what happens is when these things happen, it drowns out our dreams. I always ask in my sneak peeks to people, I ask them about the what ifs. And I always say, what were your dreams before people started or society started telling you what you should be doing? Because it's, all these things, these outer voices, these other relationships start forming what we should be doing. So another thing I want to talk to you about that's important to know about fear is it's very intellectual. It's not intellectual or rational. It is emotional, okay? It's not our job to argue with fear. When your coaches come to you talking about fear, it's not your job to try to fix their fears. You can't do it, guys. We're not going to escape it. It's our job to conquer it. And we do that with courage. And I will get into that because you're probably thinking, well, dang, Megan, how am I going to do that? I will talk to you about how we're going to develop courage. But what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking of your fear as a sign. And I want you to use it as a compass that, you know what? If I'm fearful of this, there's some deep down desire that this is something I want. There's some great thing happening here. There's going to be a big breakthrough. This is going to help me level up. Because I'll tell you, from the book Big Magic with Elizabeth Gilbert, she says that fear hates uncertain outcome. It's natural and it's human. And she says absolutely nothing to be ashamed of because it will always show up when we strive for great things. Another Stephen Pressfield from the War of Art also says it. He said, fear is actually a sign that we must do it. I feared a lot in my business, guys. I feared so much. I've been a coach for 5 years, actually, this month. But my desire to grow and stretch and dream was far greater than my fears. Was the fear still there? Yes. Did I say, F you fear? You bet. I said, I'm doing this. Was it scary? Hell yes. But I did it anyway. Now my fear lays more in not living the life that I was meant to live and not touching the lives that I'm meant to touch and not teaching my child and the future that we are forming to go after their dreams and to live their truths, okay? So what I'm going to challenge you to do is I want you to make a decision and identify some fears that you have with your business for this month, okay? If you are on the right path in your business, fear will not go away. If you don't have any fears, then I want you to reevaluate where you are with your business because you should have fear. If you don't have fear, you're playing too small. Now, if you are stuck in your biz or you feel like you don't have momentum or you're wondering why you're not having growth, but you know what you're supposed to be doing, then you're letting your fear control you. You're in a reactive state when you're stuck. And usually that means there's a lack of courage. And like I said earlier, you need courage to build your business. Courage is like, I like to compare it to a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. But the more you use it, the more it's gonna grow. The easier it gets. Every time you go and face a fear, it's gonna be easier. Your confidence is gonna grow. You're gonna have the courage to do it anyway. And then some of those feelings, you're gonna realize, you know what? You're gonna work through those feelings. You're gonna work through that fear. And also, a lot of people, I think, when we get in these things, maybe what's your fear? Is your fear of inviting? Is it the fear that I'm going to put all this time into this business and what happens if it doesn't work? I think we all just put so many fears out there, but the reality is that we're so focused on the results. Well, what if I go and face this fear and what happens? What happens? And I think the result of that is most sales-driven behavior. Granted, I am not a salesperson. This is what I've learned through lots of personal development and reading and stuff like that. Most sales-driven behavior is concerned about two things. Number one, results. Number two, relationships. So I want you to take these examples of when you are using this courage, and I want you to focus on your win being that you took action. Like I said, fear is an emotional response. So we can't think our way through our fears. And I'll be honest with you, that's what most people try to do. We try to think our way through them, try to rationalize. No, we can't do that, guys. The first step to owning that fear and conquering it is to feel our way through it. All right? So let's get back to the bullshit story. Pardon me. Back to the BS stories that we tell ourselves in our heads. This is red light, green light. Okay? And I've learned this from a mentor I've been working with, and I just wish I knew this earlier in my business because it just made so much sense to me. So we tell ourselves stories. We have red light stories we tell. These stories are stories we tell ourselves in our head. It's like that little self-talk, it's subconsciously. And actually, we've been pretty much trained, and we have been doing this to most of our lives. And these red light stories stop us from taking action. They justify playing small, doing the shoulds in life, not following our dreams, not facing our fears, okay? I'm going to give you a good example of this because I think it's very applicable to our business. And it's a great example of a fear of mine that I used to have whenever I first started coaching. And actually, that lasted for quite a bit in my business. Then we have green light stories we can tell ourselves. These are scenarios that we can create in our heads that will help us to feel our way through the fear and will empower us to take action and to continue to build our courage muscle. Okay? So you with me? You want to hear how to create your green light stories? Well, wait, actually first, getting ahead of here. Let me give you some examples. So a red light story that I like to, who has a fear of inviting? Anybody? And I mean not posting an invite to your challenge group or a call to action on social media. I'm talking about sending a message and having that conversation saying, listen, here's like the direct invite. Or you go and you have conversations over and over. Anybody scared of inviting out there? Nobody's fearful of that? Because if you weren't, okay. I can't, all right. So we'll do my red light story. One of mine that it was used to literally paralyze my business. Oh my gosh, my friend Becca, I can't message her. We haven't really even talked in like a year. We went to high school together. And now all of a sudden I'm going to reach out to her about coaching and the business opportunity. What's she going to think of me? Oh my gosh. She's going to think that I am just like one of those network marketing, like crazy MLM people. And she's, she's really successful in her legal career. Like, she's not going to want to do what I'm doing. She probably doesn't have the time to do this anyway. She's already doing so well. She's making 6 figures and living in DC. Well, and she's a mom too. She's not going to want to take away time from her daughter. You know what? Now it's not the right time. Maybe I'll come back to her later. Well, I'm going to go find somebody else on my list. And guess what I do? I don't end up inviting anybody. I don't do anything. Okay, that's a red light for you. Let's give you a same situation. And let's show you what the green light would sound like. You know what? I really need to reach out to Becca about this business, my business, because I know it's been over a year since we've connected, but I know when I reach out to her that she will be so excited because we haven't connected. And you know what though? She hasn't reached out to me either, so she's just as guilty. I do really miss her. We had so much fun cheering in high school. And you know what? I know that we have a passion for fitness, and she would be so amazing at this if I shared this opportunity with her. Oh my goodness. You know what? Wouldn't it be amazing if we could reestablish the friendship we had like we did back in the day of like our crazy cheer days with this business and this opportunity? We could get together at super weekends. Oh, we could get together at Coach Summit. Think how amazing that would be. It's like we would have a relationship again. That would be so awesome. I know she's already so successful and really busy, but you know what? Heck, if I could show her how this could be a vehicle to get a second stream of income coming into their household, I know she really wants to be home with her baby, and she's talking about having another one. And her husband, he works full-time too. I know that she doesn't want to be out of the house. I'm sure, maybe she doesn't want to be out of the house. You can't go assuming things, right? We create the red light. This could be something that could provide them financial and time freedom. And then she could spend as much time with her son or daughter as she wants. And if they're getting ready to have another baby in DC, that's super expensive. It's not cheap to have children anywhere, especially there. You know what? I have to reach out to her. I have a responsibility to share this opportunity with her. And if I didn't, it would be selfish of me. You know what? She may say no, but on the other hand, it literally may change her life. So there's a green light story for you. Two very different stories, right? So I want you to do this today. Your first call to action is one thing. What's one thing in this biz that you have been avoiding? That one, and I want you to choose an action that is a business building activity, an income creating activity. So is it inviting? Is it you're following up? Is it something that it's not one, is it going live and sharing your story? Is it the public speaking piece? What is it? Okay. And I want you to make the decision today that you're going to become more courageous. You're going to feel the fear, guys. I'm not here to tell you you aren't, but do it anyway. Do it anyway. And I want you to start to be mindful of where you are creating red lights and green lights. Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of us, it's actually kind of sad, but a lot of us have been creating a lot of red lights, not just with our business, but in our lives, okay? So one thing I want to tell you, so you're like, all right, Megan, so these green light stories, like, how do you come up with them? I'm going to tell you, number one, you will feel silly when you start doing them. I literally was sitting there, I'm like, I'm making up a story to convince myself to do something that I'm like scared to do. This is I'm insane. Okay. Number one, you will feel silly, but you really have to shift your focus when you're doing this to the impact you can make on someone else's life by taking action and sharing what you have, which is a gift. Whenever I was at Brendan Burchard's High Performance Academy, he was telling us about their fear and the roots of where fear is rooted from. And one of the places he said is that our fear comes from, well, what if I'm doing this and then it doesn't work out for me? A lot of our fear is very much selfish based. And we are in a business all about helping others, right? Helping others, whether that be with their health and fitness, financially. And it's so amazing that we have solutions for so many different things, right? So I just really want you to shift your focus on the impact you can make in someone else's life just by taking action. And it will take time to condition, but I want you to make it about others when you're thinking about it. Because that will help. When you make it about them, your fear will disappear. It won't be so much in your face. Also, something else about your comfort zone is, and if you guys have questions about creating green lights or red lights, whatever, please don't hesitate to drop below. I do highly encourage you, though, to step out of your comfort zone in Team Cup, because if you want to level up, if you are ready to grow your business, this is the month to do so, okay? Also, last but not least, there was this little exercise that I had learned. I can't remember exactly where. So if you have a rubber band and you put it on your wrist, when you have growth, I'm going to tell you, is always a result of discomfort. So this rubber band fit nice, snug, right? Totally comfortable on my wrist. But when you start pulling them and stretching them one way, going the other way, right? Okay, we're gonna do something else that was totally out of the comfort zone. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go invite that person on my dream team. Let's see what else. What's something else you guys are, what are you fearful of? Maybe what your people are going to say about you. What your family's going to say if you go live and you talk about your story. Or what somebody else is going to say in, maybe you're fearful about what people at work are going to talk about you. Or maybe you're worried that you're going to put time in. Or maybe you're scared that you're not going to be a good leader. Let's say, what are the things you fear? I'm trying to think of other ones, but I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Give me another story. I don't know. Somebody, does anybody? I don't see any coming up in the comments. But what are other fears? Fear of failing. Fear of letting your family down. So as we keep getting uncomfortable and getting out of our comfort zone, what you're going to notice is the rubber band is going to keep stretching. And what you're going to see is that as you keep going out of your comfort zone long enough, that your rubber band is going to grow. It's going to expand. And you will never go back to where you started. You will continue to grow, and you will continue to have success in this business. I hope this helped you guys. I know that you can do incredible things, and I hope that you challenge yourself, step out of your comfort zone, and tell fear to F off. Have a great Friday, and have a great month with Team Cup. Bye.